Hi there, this is Julia Malloy, business expert for the design industry. Hope you're doing great and hope you are ready for day 11. We are more than halfway through our Get Organized program, our 20-day program for February. And like yesterday, hopefully you're following along sequentially because I did put it in a particular order. There's a reason why I'm doing it this way. So if you are new to this, then back up because I want you to go to the beginning and work your way through, okay? And today we're going to be talking about Team Sync meeting. And yesterday we talked about the office rhythm and kind of the overarching rhythm of the office. And I referenced something called the Team Sync meeting that you do on Monday mornings, preferably, okay? And I have a lot of instructions. Again, I'm pulling this out of my business blueprint, but I want to give you guys a little head start for the 2018 and like really rock the year big time. And a lot of you don't have the business blueprint and you just need a little help. So I'm here, I'm helping you. Okay, so Team Sync meeting it takes place on Monday morning. It is not any kind of detail. It is what got done, what needs to get done, and who's doing it. Okay, that's it. And if there are things that are details that'll come out of that meeting, that gets brought up either after that meeting in a separate conversation, or it gets tabled for the design development meeting the following morning. And that's nice because then you can kind of consolidate all of those kind of Q&A things into one thing. So consolidate your moves instead of a lot of little tiny back and forth stuff. Obviously, going to be little stuff that just you need to know, but you're not doing it in that meeting, okay? You're doing it after that meeting if need be, okay? It is literally who's doing what, who got what done, and what else needs to get done, and who's doing it, and what's the deadline, that, really, basically. And it should have a fast pace. It should go fast, okay? By the way, if you've got a designer or junior designer, you want them as often as possible, certainly in the design development meeting, but in the Team Sync meeting too, especially if you have a designer working for you, not just a junior, but a designer, junior design team below you, and you're assigning them projects. Usually for small firms, it's all projects, but I want that designer that is working on it and that is in charge of implementation to be reporting to you during that Team Sync meeting, going down the list. It's not, I don't want you, again, you're the CEO. You're not pulling information from people. They are pushing information to you, okay? You receive it. And then you delegate more. Well, did you think about this? Or let's add that, or let's start focusing on, you give them directives, but let them report to you what they've done for the week. It helps them to feel accountable and have ownership over the project, and it puts them in a more responsible role, which feels better, and they tend to perform better. Okay, and it also, you really want to have to think of every little thing every single time. You're thinking about things that they need to get done, so you've got enough on your plate. They can report to you what they finished and what they have already added to their task list because they've had the foresight to add it to their task list already, which is good. You're like, great, you thought of that? Fantastic. Good, you thought of that? Oh, fantastic. I was going to say that today. Perfect. Give them that positive reinforcement. Give them a chance to perform for you, okay? In terms of platform, I am generally recommending, and it just depends on what kind of firm. So if you're doing a lot of commercial or you're doing large scope projects, it's going to change. You might use an Asana or a Wrike or a Basecamp. But I'm really, for the purposes of this Get Organized thing, I am skewing this information a little bit more towards just the smaller boutique model firm. So I'm going to stick with that methodology, and I'm going to say for the smaller boutique firm, you want to go kind of low tech. You don't want to get, I've seen so many people implement Basecamp and then just so hard to keep up. And then when you really need it, it's when you're really busy, and that's when you don't have the time to update it, and it just falls to the wayside. So I'm recommending doing something quick, easy, low tech, but super effective, and that is Smartsheet. Smartsheet.com, and there's a task list there, and I actually have a lot of information on the the columns. I mean, you want, and again, I'm not going to give everything away from my business blueprint. I got to leave something. But I will tell you that you need to have the columns set up so that it's not just the client in the room, but also who's accountable for doing that, because everything needs one person to be accountable. Okay, one person in charge of every one task. So you have to make some choices there when you're delegating, but you got to do that. Okay, one person per task, allocated to each task. You need the actual task itself, the item. And if you want to take advantage of the calendar and the Gantt chart, which is really cool because you get this whole visual in that tool, then you will need to put a start and end frame, a start date, end date, so it has a deadline associated with it. And I also like, there's a little tool that allows you to do a quick, and actually you don't even have to add it. It automatically comes with this. It's a tool that allows you to get an update. It looks like a little bell. And so, you know, like you want a status update, like I don't know, you're on your phone, it's night, whatever, it's after hours or whatever. You don't want to have to walk in the other room or send another email. You could literally look at this and go, oh, I wonder how that's coming along. And you click this little bell looking thing on that line item, and it sends them an email. You can add something to it, but it's already status update requested, and it links them to that item. So you can just quickly ask, how's that coming along, you know? And then I recommend putting in a column that is the percentage done. Okay, the percentage done. And I like, there's like little symbols in there, and I like putting in like quarters, you know, like a pie, you know, quarter, half, 3/4 full, and it shows you how much of that is done. So when people are updating their task list on Friday, maybe they didn't finish it, so they can't say it's done. But, you know, it's nice to know it's halfway done. You know, they got two halves or two pieces of that pie filled in. So that's kind of nice because it's visual and you can just see at a glance. And then I also like to have a field, a column that says how much more time is required. Because maybe they've put in that it's halfway done. They got halfway done. Well, the first question you need to know is, well, how much more time do you need to finish it? Right? So make a field for that so they can see it's halfway done and they need another half hour. Okay, that's nice. And use that column also. By the way, don't fill in that column all the time. Don't fill in any columns all the time unless there is a reason to fill it in, except for like who's accountable, you know, the task itself. But in terms of like what, how much time and deadlines and things like that, I don't want you filling that in unless it's real, because I want it to be like, if there's a number there or there's an amount of time given to you to do this task, then it means something. It's not just they were filling something in because they had to fill something in. It's like, if there's a number there, then pay attention to it. So use that how much time left over column, not only for them to report how much time is left on their task, but also when you're delegating right from the get-go. You know how sometimes junior designers, especially, you can give them something to source and then it takes them like 3 or 4 or 5 hours to source something that you can only bill a couple $100 on. And you're like, oh my God, you can't spend that much time finding a clock, okay? So it's really nice to give them some guidelines. So on that same task list, same task line item, you put in, you know, 0.5 or 1 or something. Do it by quarter hour. Make it easy. And so they have a guideline. Oh, okay, I really need to be able to source this in, you know, within a half hour, an hour. So give them that. So anyway, that is what you do. You list all the things that need to get done, and you go through that meeting on Monday morning and use that as your agenda and kind of go through everything that is listed as done. You get to erase, and anything that you need to add, you add. And there's a few more details on that, but that'll get you going in that right direction, okay? And that will make a big difference. It sure beats everyone having their own to-do list. It sure beats spiral notebooks, and it even beats like Wrike and Basecamp if you're a small firm, because that just can be overwhelming. But for the small boutique model firms, something like that, and if it's not Smartsheet, something that works like that. I like Smartsheet because it acts like an Excel spreadsheet, but it's way better and easier, and like it's just fast to-do list. And at the end of the meeting, you can print out everyone's task list, or they print out their own task list. And you can do it by priority. And there does need to be a priority column. I don't think I mentioned that before. A, B, and C priority. So everyone knows they do their A priorities first, and then move on to the B's and the C's. And you can do something like, I want to print out a report for everything that I'm assigned to that is an A priority. That's your immediate to-do list. That's what I'm doing today. That's great. Or you can sort by client and say, I want to see everything that's on the Smith project that is, an A priority, regardless if it's just for me or the whole team. You can sort and filter and print out by any column and any combination of columns. So it's pretty awesome. So by the time you're done with that Team Sync meeting on Monday, you figure out what print combo you want, and then you print out your to-do list. And I like having a printed to-do list. I mean, I kind of need one. I'm just like, that's how my brain works. So I print out my to-do list from Smartsheet, and then that's when I get to have the gratification of checking it off when I finish, because I'll put something on my task list just so I can check it off. So I need my task list. I need to be able to check it off. So that will really get you far. If you have any more questions on that, reach out. But that is your Team Sync meeting in a nutshell. I hope that was helpful for you. And thanks so much for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow for day 12. Until next time, be bold.